Hello. Hello, hello, hello. It's time. It's pitch like a producer. I'm Paula Rizzo.
I'm Terri Trespicio.
Terri Trespicio.
I'm moving this a little to the stage right.
And we're thrilled to be here this morning with all of you. This is an exciting time. We are going to cover a lot today. We have a short amount of time, so we're going to get through as much as possible. I'll try not to talk too fast, and we'll have some questions at the end.
That is a criticism we've gotten, by the way, so
Yes.
That's why she's saying that.
I'm trying to be mindful of it.
Well, let's drill down to what you're really here for and what we're going to do. Please, go through the list.
So why this matters to you behind the scenes in the media, right? So both of us have worked in the media, and so we'll take you behind the scenes of what that's really like. The power of the pitch, how powerful it really can be, because that will either open a door or shut it for you very, very quickly, as some of you know. Follow-up formula, how do you follow up if you haven't heard back? Why haven't you heard back? We'll let you know. And how to be a media go-to, how to have your clients, or if you're interested in being in the media, how do you become that go-to person?
And I want to preface all this by saying we know you're PR professionals. You're kind of like, yeah, that's our job, hello. Like, we don't need you to tell us this. But as people who worked in the media for a long time, we're surprised that even professional PR people are hitting their heads against the wall going, why isn't this working? And we think there's a breakdown in communication between the PR people and the media, and we've seen it, and that's what we're trying to do. We're not telling you how to do your job as if you don't know, but we have a little perspective that we think will help a lot. First of all,
right.
This is Paula Rizzo.
Yes. And so Terri and I actually put together an online course that we created called Lights, Camera, Expert. I have spent close to 20 years in media, in local news and national, most recently as a senior health producer for Fox News Channel. And there I produced tons and tons and tons of segments. I booked thousands of guests. And Friday was my last day at Fox.
Yay, congratulations.
So after 10 and a half years
Everyone's
of
like, just
working,
crossed your name off. They're like, not calling her. Not helpful to us now.
I hope you still care, even though I don't work in that newsroom anymore. But I worked there for over 10 and a half years.
She won an Emmy.
And I won an Emmy Award.
Yes.
It's been an amazing career. It was a wonderful place to work. But I'm excited for the next chapter, which is media coaching, media training, media strategy, working with Terri to help experts and entrepreneurs get their ideas out in the world in a bigger way. And Terri and I met because I actually booked her as a guest years and years ago at Fox. She was great. And we stayed in touch.
Yes, I, for many years, was an editor at Martha Stewart, a publication at Martha Stewart that's no longer with us anymore, called Whole Living. Previously it was Body and Soul, got laid off, magazine went under, life goes on. And I went into business as a brand and content consultant. So I help people figure out what to say and how to say it across platform. So here's some of the publications we've been part of, things we've done. That's her book, Listful Things. She's a best-selling author. It's translated into bajillion languages, Emmy Award winner. And I had a TED Talk that took off and has over 3 million views, and that's gotten me a lot of attention in ways that I did not expect. So one of the things I do is also help authors and experts craft their own TED Talks and get them landed.
And the point is, we've been on both sides of it. So we've been the ones pitching ourselves, and then we've also been the ones who are pitched. So we understand from both sides how difficult this can be.
I pitched her ideas to get on the show with the help of the PR team at Martha Stewart Omnimedia, and Paula then pitched me as an editor with a piece of her. I barely remembered her. We were not friends. And she sent me a pitch, and it was so good.
Who's this lady?
I was like, who is this? She's we worked together. Oh, yeah. She booked me for that thing, really tiny thing. She's adorable. And she pitched me that story for a section I edited. She had done her homework. She knew what section I edited. I still don't know how she knew that. And pitched me there.
I take good notes.
She had just started a blog. She was not pitching as anything to do with Fox. She was pitching as her own brand and said, here's something I think would fit into that section. She was a dream, and I was like, we need to meet for sushi. Doesn't happen every day. Now it does happen every other day.
That's right.
That's right. So, why you're here. I'd like to do this one for you. Look, as I said, you've been pitching the media for years. Some of you are newer, and you're just starting, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And when the media isn't biting, it can be just completely frustrating. Why don't they see the value of what you're doing? Why couldn't they at least get back to you? We'll explain. You want to help your clients make headlines and not just get them booked once, but be go-to media experts, be called all the time. That would be the dream scenario rather than you begging and offering to sell your firstborn child to get them booked on one show once. It happens. She has
I have
turned
proof.
down many babies. You want to grow your own brand too, by the way, as a PR pro. Maybe you have your own business and you're kind of learning what you're doing in your industry to maybe apply to yourself one day. So let's start with behind the scenes.
Okay, so the reality of the newsroom. How many of you have actually worked as journalists?
Some of you have worked in
Any?
the newsroom.
Yeah. So you guys know how crazy busy it is in there, right?
Yeah, please.
So the reality is that as a producer or as an editor, when I left Fox, I was getting like hundreds of pitches every single day. Hundreds. That's a lot, not including all of the things that I was working on during the day or internal emails, just from outside people, just pitching us. So it's a lot. There's the review process is very, very small because we're busy working on either a live show or something else. So you're looking at pitches very fast. And
in
so
a very small window. You're not sitting there all day like, I wonder what'll wash up into my inbox.
No, I mean, I could be out in the field on a shoot when your pitch comes in. And I think, oh, that's cool, that could be good. And then I'm going and I'm doing an interview, and then I forget all about it, and that's the end of it. So that's the reality of how it is. It's just very quick paced. And I may see it and like it, but then, I don't need you till I need you. So you may have pitched me a month ago, 2 months ago, and I don't care. I don't care about the topic, I don't care about the expert until Lady Gaga has fibromyalgia. Then you better believe I need that expert that you pitched me 2 months ago.
Where is that fibromyalgia pitch?
Exactly. Where is that guy? So, and then at that point, I need you right away. And if your expert doesn't show up, I'm going to find somebody else that will then become my go-to. It's just the way it works.
Look, we know that does not sound fair, right? Like kiss the ring and like I'm the prom queen. And
totally.
No, I turn you down again and again. I don't get back to you. And the day I do the booty call, calling you for a segment immediately, you're like, what? You didn't get back to us. Maybe I'll make her wait. Oh, no. You do that in your love life. See if it works. But I'm telling you, it will not work here. So I literally had a doctor say to me, but I don't want to I'm going to cancel patients and go in there and they might even bump my segment.
Please.
I was like, then don't do TV. Don't do it. Don't do media. Because they will never bend your will. They will never appreciate what the sacrifice is. This is not how this goes. So if we all play by those rules, then we get along.
And then evergreen stories, obviously, always get bumped for breaking news. I mean, you guys know this. And it happens, and it's sad, and you get killed, and that's the end of it. And sometimes I'll have you back and say, oh, we'll reschedule it, and sometimes that just won't happen. And that's just the fact. I mean, that's just the beast that is news, right?
Yeah, if your client is going in to do a piece on, non-invasive back surgery, but then
good one.
Trump tweets something, like that's it, you know what I mean? So that happens, right? Anyway, where the media is looking for you.
Okay, so we're obviously, I mean, you guys know this, we're looking all the time. So it's not just about the pitches that you send to us. That's not where we're finding all of our ideas. We have these pitch meetings where all we're doing is talking about, oh, I just saw this new YouTube star, or I was looking, on this new blog. We're just reading tons of other media, and media begets more media. So if you get your client booked in one thing, and then we see it, we're like, oh, is that the expert that I need to talk to about XYZ thing? And then it kind of gets rolling in that way. And so the other thing is that we use each other a lot. In a newsroom, it's very, very collaborative. So I could be working on a story, and they could say, hey, does anybody know a great cardiologist? And then there you have a new contact, because that producer who you've never pitched before now has access to your people. So you just want to kind of send it out there. Even if you don't hear back, it's fine. I have always used my email almost like as a Rolodex to look through and just put cardiologist, whatever, fibromyalgia, whatever it is. It may come back, and it may be 6 months ago that you sent it to me. Maybe you're not booking that client anymore. But be gracious and say, oh, sure, here's their contact info. I've gotten way too many times where PR people say, oh, I'm not working with that person anymore. Shut the door.
Oh,
and I don't think that's a smart way to do it, because then you shut the door to you, too, right? So you don't give me then access to you and whoever your clients are. Aside
you go
from
out
the
of your way
cardiologist.
and connect them anyway, even if you're not getting paid for that. Because if you shut the door because it wasn't in your interest, why would I go after you for more information? Then next time you have a client you want to pitch me, oh, you're the one who was completely unhelpful because you weren't being paid at that moment. Wrong. The relationships you form in any interaction with a woman who's now working where Paula worked before, if she says, hey, Paula, did you ever work with this person? If something untoward or kind of nasty or something happened in email because you were mad and you wrote, she'll go, oh, no, don't. And I've seen experts never see the light of day again because they pissed off someone or realized they were because we're always trying to filter for the douchebags. We don't want, is this person difficult? That's all we want to know. Are they going to make my life easy or hard? And if the answer is hard, no one will pass them along. They become the pariah.
Yes.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
Things the media tells you.
We want to go through some of the things that you've probably heard from the media that you thought maybe was BS, but actually sometimes there's some truth to it. So one of the things is, we need it now. Totally true. Sometimes we lie because we realize that I always tell people, oh yeah, the deadline is at 4 when the deadline's at 6, because I know people are going to come in late and it's going to be a problem. But as much as you possibly can, if they need it now, just get it to them.
You play that rule. You play by that rule.
You play the game. We're not doing that type of segment right now. Totally true. This actually does happen. Sometimes you'll pitch something and we'll say, oh, you know what, we're actually not doing cooking segments anymore. And people get so mad and they say, but you just did one last week. And what you don't know is that our boss just said, we're done with the cooking. This is it. This is the end. So you think it's a line, but this really happens. This is something that actually, can get shut down like that, even though we've been doing it.
What are you going to fight with them? But mine's better. It's like, okay, but this is top-down stuff.
We just did a similar segment. Again, happens all the time. I was just pitched a whole bunch of things on MS. I had done like 5 stories on MS, right, in a row. And so it's true, it happens. If I've done a bunch of them, I'm not gonna do it again. If I've used your guest a few times, I'm probably not gonna use them again right away. I'm gonna wait a little while. Even if I really love that guest, I'm gonna wait.
We never do that type of segment. You didn't do certain topics because your host didn't like them.
Yeah, there were fitness topics, there were things, we did lots of wine segments because he loved those, so we did those a lot, but there are certain ones that are just off limits even to the anchor. So that's another thing, understanding when you're pitching, you're also pitching to the anchor or to, obviously to the publication specifically, but know who the anchor is, know who the team is, because if you go and see, oh, they have so much fun when they're doing these kind of segments, they would love this guest, they would love this kind of thing.
Right.
I love that because when I go pitch that, they're like, oh yeah, that'll make the host shine. Let's do that. So sometimes you can get your way in that way.
All right, how to stand out. I can't emphasize this enough. When you're sending a pitch, you're pitching a specific thing, lead with one thing. The last thing a producer or editor wants is work to do. You don't give them work. Here's this person, she's amazing, you would love her, figure it out. Nope. I want you to say, here's what this person doing, here's one thing I think in particular for your show, for your story, for your section, that would be awesome.
And make us feel special. We don't feel special ever. We just get blast emailed a lot.
Have you ever done a first impression audit of your clients? We recommend this of our own clients and students. We say, all right, well, we have people who are in the class together say, okay, you're going to swap. You don't know each other that well. Go onto each other's Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook and just look at what's posted there. What do you see about this person? What would you think based on what you see there? Not based on, oh, I really love you, Carol, as a person. No. Only on what's out in the world, because when she goes to book someone, she's looking at what their fingerprint is in the world. How are they representing themselves? If you're like, I'm all about authenticity, but the last picture was you doing a keg stand, like, maybe not a good idea. What else? Do this. This is your favorite one.
Oh, why do I care about this topic or your client? Why do I care? Me, the producer.
Not you.
Not you.
Not you who's being paid to represent them,
and not
the
your client.
Who cares,
right?
obviously, about her own life.
Which is a big problem.
Yes.
Because what happens, and I literally just got a pitch last week where it was very client focused. It was about how great the client is. I don't care. I care about the story. Right. What is it that my audience takes away from this? What do they get? How does their life change? That's what I care about. I do not care about your expert. Okay, once I care about the story, then I care about
the expert.
Are they good on camera? Can they speak in sound bites? All of these things. But it's the story that you lead with, not with the expert, unless it's a celebrity. Then I don't care what they're talking about.
I know that you're trying to put in this lovely gift that is the client who has so many other gifts to give inside. So you're trying to get them across the threshold and say, seriously, it's just a huge buffet. Take any dish you want. She can cook all these things, whatever. But it's like they really only want you to hand one thing and say, you've got to try this.
It just has to be focused because like I said, we're so pressed for time. There are so many things coming at us that if just lead with the one thing, and if I don't jump on it, lead with one other thing in 2 weeks, with the same guest.
Now we know you're there to do promotion, right? This is what this is. If your client didn't have something to promote, you wouldn't be doing it. But you're never promoting through media. You know that. The media doesn't want to feel they are a vehicle for your sales, your client's sales, you know what I'm saying? And so we always say, think beyond promotion. And I know that you know this, but look, where you're getting paid and who you're paid to support can change your bias in a heartbeat. Bigger, you have to think bigger than your book, your business, or your product, bigger than theirs. It's not just about, oh, she's got a great new book coming out. Again, really don't care if I don't know the person. What in that book, what one page, what one paragraph, what one piece of that is important to us. And me, my producer, my audience, my viewers, what are you or your client trying to change or improve? So it's not like she did a great book all about IBS. It's like, well, what? Like, well, did you know that this certain food is, everyone thinks it's great for IBS and it's the worst. Like, the thinner you can slice it, the better. What mission are you on? And I say this because the person who's doing the promoting best be out to change the world around his or her topic, or you're just trying to sell things. And again, I don't care. So the book, as you know, will be a lower thirds author of da-da-da-da-da. We're not going to probably talk about the book. We know the book is the occasion. It's the boat you sail in on, but you better have more than just that boat to offer. All right, let's get into the good stuff.
The pitch. This is the good stuff. Okay.
Your favorite, golden rules.
My favorite. Okay, so put yourself in the media's shoes, right? So that means you're going to watch my show. You're going to know who my host is. You're going to know who my audience is, my demographic, right? You have access to all this information. You guys have a lot of fancy tools that you use now to know all these things.
Or your eyes.
I mean, low-tech tool, just watch the show and watch the commercials. Those advertisers are spending big bucks to target specific demographics. Same thing with a magazine. Look through that magazine, and that's who the target audience is, whoever those advertisers are targeting there.
If the show mainly shows adult diapers during the ad breaks, probably baby stuff and is not, right?
No,
I mean,
right, new moms.
I say this because a lot of what I watch has a lot of diaper ads.
A lot of Golden Girls she watches,
Yes.
just saying.
Exactly. A lot of like chairs that go upstairs.
And then if you don't know why my audience cares, then neither does anybody else, right? And so often we just, like I said, get these blanketed pitches of like, oh, this person's so terrific, they can talk about so many things.
Everything.
And you're
She can
gonna
talk
love
about
them and they're so
everything.
great. And like, I wanna know very, very specifically, just be very specific about why my audience cares, right? And then when you're sending that pitch, make sure that it is, geared towards, like at the time, Fox News, not CNN. I've gotten so many pitches for CNN at Fox News. And people think, oh, that doesn't happen. It happens all the time. People will always say, this would be so great for Sanjay Gupta's show. And I'll write
Why
back,
don't you tell Sanjay?
tell Sanjay.
that?
It's great. I'm sure he'd love
Right.
it.
Well, yeah, it just comes across as lazy. We know it's enthusiastic. We know that your clients have a lot to offer, but today they're offering one thing on the menu. Also, we were just saying, this is so important. Lead with the story, not the expert. No one knows this person, chances are. Even some of the most famous names, like in integrative health, the other person doesn't know. They just got the job. They were in tech last week. Now they're covering health. They don't have a clue. So the story first, the person after. Because once I do the story, I get to interview this person, I like them. Oh, what else you got in that bag? What else can you do? We like you, we want to find another way. Then we care about the relationship. But don't make this like this, and I see this a lot, I'm sorry, with women stuff, like girlfriend, oh, you would love her, you should totally meet up, and you'd love each other. It's like, give me a little more on that.
It's true.
And it's not fair.
And you know what? I
'Cause
do
you wouldn't
end
pitch
up
a man that way.
I do end up loving some of the experts. I've
Yes,
become
they're
friends
our
with them
friends.
through the years. Yeah, I've interviewed them for my book. I mean, it has become a thing. But don't lead with that. That's not the.
Unless it's share, okay?
Then
If
we
it's
wanna be
share,
friends.
you are welcome to lead with share. Now,
Okay,
how
so-
many people in here use HARO, help a reporter out? Is this very widely used in your industry?
okay.
Who has never used it, never even really heard of it, and don't be embarrassed, because
It's cool. A lot of people don't know it.
So we're
Okay.
going to talk about it then.
Okay,
Good.
perfect. So I've done both. I've used it. So HARO is it helps journalists find sources and vice versa. So as a journalist, I've put out queries through HARO. Helpareporter.com is the website.
Like the Craigslist of media.
Kind of, right? So when you're looking for somebody, I found one of my best experts this way, Chris Killam. I was looking for someone to talk about strange foods that were good for you. This was years ago when I first started at Fox, and I thought, how the heck am I going to find that? So what I did was I put in a HARO request. His PR person got back to me right away. That expert has become my go-to for years. I've known him for 10
Chris
years.
Killam.
Yes.
Chris Killam.
I have
Good
done
one.
thousands of segments with him, legitimately. We did so many segments. And so it's a great resource that way. But what happens is, as a journalist, when you put out that query and say, I'm looking for somebody who talks about strange foods, you get inundated. There are so many emails that come through. Some of them are not actually what I asked for, which is very annoying. And I think they crack down on that now.
Oh, really?
But once I find my person,
Shuts it down.
I'm not looking at any of those emails.
It's like a deluge. You're like, shut it, like pouring through. You're like, I got one, just shut it. And then I go, but I sent my thing in for her and they didn't get back to me. Honey, they had like thousands, like they just found the quickest one that worked and they don't want to deal with that anymore.
Because of the timeline issue and the deadlines and all of that. But then as an expert, so my book is about productivity, I have also then used it to respond to some of those queries, and I've gotten myself some good media.
Me too.
Dr. Oz, we have a friend actually who got herself on Steve Harvey through Harrow. And so it's 3 emails that come out, and they basically tell you what journalists are looking for, and you can respond back.
It's a tool for you and your clients. You can both be doing it. It's just a mad dash. You have to pick through. It's like a garage sale. Every couple hours, you get a new one. You could find things and forward them along and be of service, but I also don't want you to think, well, now they can get their hits that way. It does not replace strategic outreach or relationships ever. Sometimes it's a lucky break. In fact, I say the upside is it's easy, active, addictive, and fun. Downside, penny slots. You also could be mentioned on, like, Dorothy Smith's business blog with 2 followers. Well, actually, it has to have some followers. But you might be buried. You'll have 1 quote in the bottom. I mean, they're not all winners. So when people put all this effort into it and they go, I tried it, it doesn't work. I was like, man, you keep it burning. It's like, you just
it's a good exercise too for you and for your clients to say, okay, this didn't hit, why not? Let's do it again. And you kind of reuse those, and that's what I do. You have the same sound bites, you have the same things that you're saying over and over again. You have the same, expertise, obviously. So you can use it and then tailor it to whatever it is that they're asking of you.
I had a doctor who tried it on his own, and I go, what happened? And he said he wrote in, he was like, yeah, I talk about that, I'm here if you want. I was like, yeah, that's the worst thing ever to send. They do not want you to be like, call me. It's like you need to dish it up and give everything out, and they still, if you don't get there under the gun, not happening. Now, here's how a producer sees Harrow.
Right, so you have to respond very fast, like I said, in 24 hours or less, right? Then they cut you off. That's a new thing, where you can't actually reply. But once I find my person, I'm done. The worst responses are those that are off topic, of people who just want my email address, and they say, oh, Fox News is looking for such and such thing, I'm just going to get in. It's very annoying.
They say, I don't know anything about strange foods, but I have these adult diapers you might like.
Yes.
And she says,
nope.
Wrong answer.
Nope.
Wrong. It's
nope.
manipulative. Nope. That's not
yes.
what she asked for.
That's not the way to build a relationship.
Oh.
So include the bio of the person, and if this is for TV, 100% you have to have a video clip. I can't tell you how many times people will pitch you as a producer, and there's no video of the person.
And then they say, do you need video? I'd be like, someone wants to write for Vogue. Do I need to have writing clips, or you just give me the job? No, you need clips. That's the same thing. Don't ask to be on TV. If you have no video.
And if they haven't done media, it's fine. Just have them do something on YouTube. Just them talking to camera, giving a couple of tips, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be super fancy. I need to look at them and I need to hear them before I'll even get on the phone with them for a pre-interview. Because that's the way TV works.
All right, let's move through these pretty quickly. 3 elements of a pitch. We basically made these up kind of, but this is what we look for. The hook, why now? The twist, why is that different from what we usually hear? How does it turn an assumption up on its ear? Like, hey, usually you think this is the time of year for this, but actually, this such and such expert believes that this is the thing. You've got to have some twist, or it's something I've heard 1,000 times. And then the takeaway, which is, what do we do about it? What are the things that our readers or viewers can do as a result? And you put that all in the pitch under like 300 words, like short. So we're going to do this now.
Yeah, we're going to ask you guys to pitch stuff that...
Oh. I want to get to the pitches so bad.
Okay, fine. Well, okay.
Well, let's talk about these things first.
So the non-pitch pitch. This is basically here's this expert, use them however you want. Terrible way to pitch. Doesn't work.
Expert available in the subject line, the worst.
Yep.
Don't do
What
that.
are you working on? So this seems really nice, right? This seems like something that you would say to a friend, like, hey, what are you working on now? Journalists hate when you ask that.
Unless you're friends already.
Even still, yeah, unless you're really friends with them, we hate when you ask that question, because you're then putting the impetus on me to be like, what am I working on? Let me see how, because you want to get your client in something that I'm working on. I get it. You tell me what you're working on. You tell me who your clients are, and then let me figure out, oh, you know what? I'm actually working on something like that. I can probably use that person. But when you just say, hey, what are you working on right now? Let me know if I can help. It drives us insane.
It's like, just drag out your whole day and agenda and everything you have to do so that I might pick amongst them and throw you something you don't want. Like, again, it's lazy. So don't do it. So, this is the good part.
Yeah, so what are you working on that might not be hitting as well as you would like? Or is there like a new campaign you're working on that you want to try out some pitches? If there's anybody who wants to volunteer.
Let's troubleshoot some pitches right now. Say, here's the problem. We've tried this. It didn't work. Come on up to the microphone. Let's do it.
So shy for PR people. This is strange.
What is happening? What? There's got to be something. Something, maybe you're like, hey, we just got this new client, come on over. And say, like, here's what we're thinking. Is this the story? You know? I mean, this is what we do. We assess it.
Tell us your name.
Please.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I
Stephanie.
was representing the Connecticut chapter at the beginning.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
You guys are great.
Thank
I'm
you.
taking-
Thank you.
Taking lots of notes. So I'm working with a company called Dick and Jane Educational Snacks.
Get closer to that mic. This is,
Oh,
yes, there you go.
Dick and Jane Educational Snacks.
Got it.
And they're a real couple. Jane is a teacher. Dick is an entrepreneur.
Wow.
But I'm having a few hits, but not fully closing. And I'm not sure if it's...
What do you mean? You're getting the hits or you're not closing enough hits? If you got the hit, you
enough,
got the hit.
enough. I sent out a Halloween pitch asking if it might be an option to offer a Halloween alternative.
What are the
for-
snacks?
What is the snack?
Oh, okay.
Educational snack? Really
I know,
food?
I'm so
or-
nervous. I'm just forgetting what
That's
to say.
okay. It's not normal to pitch in front of 1,000 people in the room.
Yeah, it's different than on the phone. It's like the reinvention of an animal cracker. So they are sweet crackers, really, round cookie, or they're not cookies, they're snacks. Presidents, states and capitals, English and Spanish.
Ah, okay. So they teach you, but are
They
they
teach
healthy?
you things. Oh, but it's a
They're
cookie.
healthy.
It's
They're-
flour
they're-
and sugar. Am I wrong?
Yes, low
It's a cookie.
sugar,
Guess
all
what? It's a
natural,
cookie.
whole grain,
Got
the whole
it.
deal.
It's a cookie in the
Yeah.
shapes of things kids should know. So
Yes,
it's okay. Got
exactly.
it. Okay.
So it's the pitch that I sent out was a new Halloween alternative for parents that want something that's more educational, have more substance, but something that's a little bit less sweet.
Who are you sending it to? You don't have to say
Yeah.
specifically, but TV versus.
I've been sending it because it's later in the month, more daily newspapers, radio, TV. We didn't get the story idea in time to do a long form magazine, so that's what I've been doing. And I'm just wondering if it's the timeline in which I'm pitching.
Well,
and
for
following up.
magazines, we plan 6 months ahead. So
Right,
I
no,
would've-
not
right.
magazines, right.
Oh, I think
okay,
the
so
timing is
newspapers.
good. I think your timing is good. I mean, you're a couple weeks out.
Right.
The problem for me always with products, this is always a problem, is that when you're pitching just your product, I don't care, and I typically can't just do one product. You know, even
It's an advertisement.
Yeah, it's an
if
advertisement.
I write about your product.
So,
Yeah.
you know, if you were to pitch like a roundup, right? We do a lot of these things, but of course,
Right.
then you have to say there's
Right.
going to be other products there, and your client has to be okay with that. Which I'm guessing sometimes they're not. Hello, I'm guessing sometimes they are not okay with that. But guess what? Like any press is good press, and so if you're up there with some other snack or some other thing, maybe it's not. Maybe it's other educational tools. Okay, maybe it's not.
Yes, maybe it's not all
food.
candy. It's
Yeah,
like-
maybe the pitch is not. I mean, Halloween I would try it, but maybe
Right.
going forward I would do more like here's some new educational things that are out there for parents.
That's
you
a good
know,
idea, yeah.
I
But wait,
think
what would you think if you got a pit? Like, what if they went a roundabout way and found someone who's like a mommy blogger, parent blogger, who does roundups of Halloweens of, hey, are you doing a roundup? Here's a few things, and one of them, of course, is one that we're representing. Would this be something you'd be willing to feature? And then, is this underhanded to then say, hey, blogger, pitch the media for this, and if you get it, we'll pay you? I think that's
think
that's
that's
tricky.
always tricky.
Yeah.
It's always tricky. Like I always ask. I'm always like, are you being paid? Are
Yes,
you a
true.
paid spokesperson? But
Right.
I always ask that. You know, I've been working in this industry for a very long time. Some of the new producers don't ask and then get burned, which is like how I started asking because that's what happened to
Right,
me.
exactly.
You know?
Right.
So I guess it's just the way that it goes.
But
But
have you done that with influencers, with like other people who write about that stuff? I mean, does that people who do media regularly who might be looking for reasons to go back into the media and would love another tool in their Halloween roundup?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, influencers have been really helpful. I think social media exposure is a little bit is working better than traditional media
yes,
for this
I get
particular
that.
case.
Yep. But your people, the husband
couple,
and wife,
yeah.
team, like that's a great story.
Right, I
You
think
know?
so too. And I'm thinking that, so the client wanted to mostly focus on Halloween, let this be a Halloween alternative.
Well, why do we
to
need a
boost
Halloween
sales.
alternative? People
Right.
don't like an alternative. I want my damn candy corn. Don't take
Exactly.
away my candy corn. Like, be careful of fixing things that aren't broken.
Right.
It's like she's not reinventing Halloween because she's a candy
Well,
shaped like the state of
And
Mississippi.
here's the other thing for Halloween, and I get so many Halloween pitches, and it's always from dentists who are saying, "Oh, about the cavities and blah blah." Every year, it's the same pitch. It's the same thing over and over and over. We're tired of it. You're tired of it. The reader is tired of it. You know. So I just think, yes, okay, you just do a little outreach for the Halloween if you get it something, whatever.
I got it. I know what I want to do. The pitch. Education, history of your favorite candy, of your favorite stuff. Do an
that's a great
content
idea.
thing that your cookie, just one of those things. Like, what is the history? How did the candy corn? I just got very curious about candy corn. Why is that a thing? What's another favorite? And then you slip yours in and be like, and this. Why do we need it? Because we asked 10 kids what the capital of whatever was and no one knew it. Guess what? Put your knowledge where your mouth is. Like, is there a way to work that in so we're learning about the history and you fit in? Don't reinvent, like no one needs that. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense.
Yep, I would
That's a
also
great
try
idea.
to do the education one. Have like a few things that are educational for
Yes.
kids. I think that would be good once Halloween is done.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Thank you guys
you.
so
Yeah.
much.
Don't hang everything on a holiday.
No.
Right? Holiday's great, but it's not the whole
Is there
pitch.
anyone else we could do real quick?
Yeah, we have a little time. It's only
In the back,
10:40.
yes.
Come on up. Please, this is our favorite thing to do.
I know, I love this part.
I was like, let's get through these stupid slides so we can get to the good part. Your name, please,
Hi,
madam?
I'm Joanna from Xeno Group, and I've actually been hiding out in the back following up on some pitches that I'm not making the most traction on.
Okay.
So my pitch is for the Hershey Company around what we're calling the busiest day, and October 30th is the busiest day for selling candy at retailers because it's the day consumers visit or revisit retailers for their favorite candy.
Okay.
So we're having a little bit of trouble landing some print and online coverage, and I don't know whether or not.
What are you leading with? Hey, we're Hershey's. Put a story in there about us.
Hey, we're Hershey. We've been working with our retail partners since late 2016 to position them for their busiest day success.
Who cares?
But
about
I
that?
don't
What-
care.
Who cares?
Like as the viewer or as the reader, I don't care. I mean, maybe if it was
what
a business
publication?
story.
It is a business story.
Okay.
So it's not consumer facing at
Oh,
all.
okay, fine.
It's how we work with Walmart, Target, CVS, whatever, to work with them on their merchandising efforts to help them.
But that's a prop piece for you. Why do we care about how great Hershey is doing this for the retailers? Great. I'm glad you're having a good time.
Because our efforts with our retail partners help them succeed in store to drive incremental
How?
That's what I
sales.
want to know.
Yeah, how?
Not
How?
just because you're awesome, because you're Hershey's, because you have
Right.
great chocolate.
How
but
are you helping
How are you
them?
helping the business? And I want it to be something that other people can mimic and take, so that it's
Yeah,
pure
Because then
content.
you're just giving it away and saying, hey, because we do this with them, they're able to do XYZ thing. And I see that, from a business standpoint, saying, hey, I want XYZ thing.
Right.
I want
wanna
Hershey's
do that.
to be the thought leader on here's how we think you should do it, not here's how I do it. It's a secret. Pay us.
Okay. So I need to lead more with our merchandising efforts. We do.
I don't care
pumpkins.
about you. I want to know here's what you reader can do. You business reader, you small competitor of ours, you hope to eat our lunch one day? Great, here's a head start.
Okay.
You've
'Cause
got
they
to
never
tell them
will.
how to do
You know
it.
what I mean? It's not like you're giving, yes, you're giving away good stuff, but like they're never going to do it like Hershey does it, let's be honest.
They're never, and that's why you're the leader. That's why Juice Generation did a book about how to make juices, because you ain't going to do it as good as they can. Go ahead and try.
Yeah.
You'll be back
You'll get
tomorrow
bored
to
in
buy.
5
Please,
minutes.
you'll be back tomorrow. You're like, screw this. So do you see the difference, though? Because you're in the camp of Hershey's. You're like, we do this great stuff. As soon as you feel yourself flattering the client, it's over. It is an advertisement. What can they do to teach small business owners how to do their efforts better? Give away some shit. Give it away, or else I don't care.
Okay. Thank you. Both.
Thank you.
Okay,
Sure.
thank you. Good, sweet. Anyone else? We're on fire.
Here we go. Here's our
Shakira. Shakira from New Jersey, representing New Jersey PRSA.
Great dinner last night, ladies.
Yes, of
very
course.
nice.
Nice to share a table with you.
How can we help today?
So today, again, my background is in events, so we want to try to get events featured before the events.
We have a
And
whole
Always
thing on this
hard.
stuff.
So
Pause right there.
how do you
Who's
get
the most recent
events?
event? They will never be featured unless it's the Grammys. No one cares about an event.
No, I get pitched events all the time. I like going to them, but I never cover them as media.
But we'll
Not
get into.
typically.
Can we tell which event is the most pressing right now that you would love coverage for? Because we're not telling you give up forever. You're obviously in PR. It's working. But what's the one that you would love to get attention for that isn't working?
I'll do a theoretical event.
Sure.
I do events for women and girls all the time.
What does that mean? Cookies? You're giving away cookies shaped
well,
like presidents?
we do a big tea party. It sells out. It's fabulous. We do it at a mansion. Mothers come with daughters.
What is
etc.
the point?
What's
Like,
the point of
why
it?
do they come together?
I can see
Just
my
to
mother
spend-
at home.
To spend time?
To spend time, to bond. There's etiquette. There's self-esteem building. There's
Wait,
lots
there's
of
self-esteem
photo
building
ops.
and my mother's there? Something's wrong with that. That's not happening. I think that's probably your biggest problem right now. Go ahead. So what do you think?
Terri is a stand-up comedian, and she does this for
Please,
all
I'm
of our
working on my material.
presentations.
I'm working on material. That's a good one. I use that.
I just think is there a bigger story here about like how the mother-daughter connection is lost, and how do you fix it?
Yes,
And
it's
one
about
of
the
the ways
topic.
is to spend time together. And oh, by the way, there's this event where people do this. But here's some other things that you can also do. So this is just one of the mentions, one of the things that you can do. And maybe you have, I don't know, like somebody.
Who's the company? Who's the personality leading
Yeah, I was
the
going to say, is there a
mother-daughter effort?
psychologist or is there somebody who
Who's
can
heading this
talk
up?
about this?
Is it Jane from Dick and Jane? No.
It is not Jane from Dick and Jane. It's my organization. I head it up.
You
but
head it up.
I do, yeah.
So it's
Okay,
you.
so this
So
is
you're the
about
person.
you. This should be about you then. Why
this
did you
is your
seem to
story.
need to do this?
This is my story?
Well, first of all, Shakira, no one on the planet is going to be like, oh, headline news, there's a mother-daughter tea happening on Elm Street, right?
Okay.
What you do is,
Drop everything.
thank you, sir, I'm here all week.
Immediately drop everything.
Here's the reason. She's right. It's got to be about why this matters. And then the footnote is, by the way, you have an opportunity to come do this on Elm Street Saturday at 3 p.m. But the lead story is how everyone, you say, oh, your kid's always looking at her phone. Like, this is a tea for, steep
And
in
I
your
just
mother's
wonder,
company.
you started this event for a reason. Like, what is your reason? What is your story? Like, the story development of that is very
Story.
interesting because other mothers will probably identify with you. They'll say, oh my God, my kid does that too, or they do this, or they do that. And so that is a big part of it. I always ask experts when they're pitching things, why did you go into this field? Why did you decide to do this? Like, why, because you get so many great nuggets out of the person's personal story that then maybe you can use that as part of the pitch.
But an event on its own is not a story. And
Except if it's like for a business, like a business
it's an
trade
Apple
show
iPhone,
or-
iPhone 10.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
that's fine.
That's different, but it's much harder.
I think people miss the opportunity to build into and dig into the content of why this is important. And maybe it's like, if you cared so much about it, maybe you're also going to do like, here's 3 ways to get your daughter to pay attention or to reconnect. And one of them is spend some time over a hot drink. And then, oh, by the way, come and have that. Like, you inspire the thing. So the event is the call to action. The event is the opportunity to do that thing. But we wouldn't go to events really because we'd be like, meh, so-and-so's speaking. If I want to talk to so-and-so, I'll call them. So I don't really have to go.
Yeah.
You've got to
and
make
I'm not
going to
show up with a camera crew because that's not going to
It's a
be,
lot of
for
effort.
national news,
Right.
definitely not. Maybe for local, like they might do that. Yeah, for local.
It might be
they
for
would.
local, but again, what she said is right. It's got to be about why that story. And why you, I think you should dig into that. Thanks,
you.
Shakira.
Thank you.
Let's hang on one sec and zip through so we're not running out of time
Yeah,
on this.
so here's a little checklist because I did write a book about lists, so all I care about is
Please.
lists and
Everything's in list
checklists.
form. Every email's in list form.
It really is. So double check the name of the outlet. Sounds ridiculous, but I told you Sanjay Gupta missed out on a lot of pitches because they were sent to me. Clear, specific subject heading. Think New York Post, right? Really grab my attention. Love or hate the New York Post, they do headlines really well. The pitch should be 30 seconds for me to skim and get. So that means, yes, you're going to use some bullet points. You're not going to use dense text.
You're reading that. No one is reading
it needs to be very, very quick. Give me the headline. Give me some of the things the person can talk about, and then the link, obviously, to the video clip, the website, the bio, all of that. But it should be very quick. And the other thing is that don't send me a press release. I hate that.
Press releases are dead. I don't know why people do them.
It's the worst. Don't send it initially. I may ask for more information, then you hit me with the press release. But here's what happens. People will send me a pitch and say, hey, hoping that you could want to do something on the below. And then I got to read the whole thing.
I got to go open the attachment, read your double-space, multi-page, blah, blah,
Just
blah,
tell me. Tell me why you're pitching it. Tell me what the story is. I don't want to read it, and I'm not going to. So don't send it. I mean, print people might be different. They might love that, but TV people do not.
Bio, website, video clips. Of course.
Okay, so we're going to do this real quick. The
Really,
follow-up
really fast.
formula. So why did you not hear back, right? So one reason is they're overwhelmed. Talked about that. It just wasn't a fit right now. It really, truly was not a fit. They didn't understand your pitch. This happens all the time because you're in it too much.
You're too close to it.
You're too close.
If there's confusion, it's a no every
Yep.
time. Bad subject heading. the
yeah, it
worst.
could just be lost.
Can I pitch you? If any one of you, I will
Don't.
follow you. If any one of you sends an email, I will come to your house.
And then other things you'll never know. Like we talked about, maybe the host hates doing that kind of segment, or we stopped doing that kind of thing, or whatever it is. You may never know.
Don't take it personally, and don't write back a snippy email. You will never work in this town again.
That's right.
Send a follow-up email.
I
send
love
another one.
follow-up emails, but when you send it, repitch me in that email. Don't just say, what did you think of the below? Because then that gives me homework to scroll down and to reread what it is that you're pitching me. Tell me what the pitch is. Call. No one ever calls.
No one calls anymore.
Never. They never call. So if you call and you leave a voicemail, I usually am like, you know what? I'll give it a second look. And then send additional ideas and resources and referrals if it's not
When you're
a
not
fit.
pitching.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
Be
Not
a resource.
not as a pitch. And then wait a few weeks and then do it again. You know.
That's it. Rinse and repeat. Next. The obvious question. How do you create pitches that get responses? Train your clients to deliver on air and help them become go-to media pros. Just work 85 hours a day. That's what you have to do. No, you don't have time for that. This is the course. We'll give you more information later if you're interested. We consider ourselves the prebiotic for PR efforts. We say to all our clients, we never say, you don't need PR. Be your own PR person. We go, oh, hell no, you need PR, but not yet. Because you are uneducated, you don't understand how this works, and you're going to make your PR person insane. So you need to be better at what you do so your PR person can do better for you. And that is what we believe. This is what the course does. Brings your client up to speed, saves you time, increases the likelihood of multiple bookings. Hello, reinforce and complement your efforts. But this is more important.
So how we can also help you. So the course is one thing. It's designed for experts, entrepreneurs, and authors to take. It's not, really for PR people.
It's not for PR people,
But
right.
we do work with PR agencies and companies with media training, one-on-one workshops, pitches and story development, like what we just did. We'll kick the tires on stuff for you, brand consulting.
That's my life. I love that. So we do this on our own as well, and together. And we also do speaking consulting. Whatever other assets your client needs to build out to be the bigger deal that they want to be, essentially. That's how we can work with you.
And content creation, blogs. I've become a big producer of podcasts all of a sudden because everybody wants
All of a
them.
sudden, you've been listening to them for years. You're a
I do
pro.
love podcasts.
She loves them.
So these are just some people that we worked with in the past. JJ Virgin, you probably know her. She's been fantastic. I worked with her for years and years. And she says that I know how to make a segment sing.
Although
Very
Paula
nice.
cannot sing on her own. She
No.
just makes a segment sing. If you want someone who can craft the perfect segment idea and get your message across, she's your match.
Peter
And, of
Shankman,
course,
who
Peter
actually created Harrow, helped the reporter out, is a good friend of mine. I've booked him many, many times. And I've worked with him on consulting as well.
That's such an intense picture of him, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a pretty serious guy. And Farnoosh Torabi.
Farnoosh, of course. Farnoosh, who you probably have seen. She's an author. She's on the Tay Show all the time. If there's one team I trust with media and messaging, it's these two. Very nice of her to say. But we want to give you something,
A gift.
of course, to take. So we're, of course, going to share this slide deck with you. So I see people taking pictures. You can have the slide deck. It is ready and poised to be sent to you. All you do right now is take your phone out and text the word instead of like, what's up, you out? Instead of writing that, write PR Pros with no space. Make sure, because the phone will autocorrect. PR Pros, and the number you text it to is 44222. What happens if you do it right is you will immediately get another text that says, put in your email. You put in your email, and then you check your email spam filter because you need to confirm to be on it. If you do none of those things, you will not get the slide deck, and you will not get this little ebook we did. 5 things
You should
never
never say to a TV producer and what to say instead. So it's all the things that we hate to hear and what you should say instead. We're giving you all of the clues there. So
That's it.
That's the story.
You guys, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys. That was wonderful. Thank you both.